Greetings, MU4606, and welcome to the class session for Thursday, April 9th. I'd like to begin with a composition of mine. I recently wrote this song for the alto recorder. It's titled Song for the Wind. And when I finish, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about transposition. This is an F instrument, so I'm going to ask you what that means to be playing an F instrument. And you might try to determine what key I'm performing in and then how that transposes. More on that in just a second. Here is Song for the Wind. So that was Song for the Wind. I'm playing on an F instrument. So when we think about transposing instruments, and this is really important for all of us as future music educators, we think that when you play a C, then you're really playing the pitch of that instrument. So for example, for our clarinetists and trumpet players in the audience, when you play a C, the note that you're really sounding is a, well, if you said B flat, you're correct. So that the trumpet and the clarinet are written to C or one step above B flat. Well, this is an F instrument. So if I play a C, that means that it is really truly sounding an F. In other words, the note that I'm playing is either a fifth above or a fourth below the true pitch. Okay? So I was in the key of G. So if I'm playing in the key of G, what is it truly sounding? Take a moment and think about it. What's the transposition again? Well, if I'm playing in G, then the true pitch would be in C, because that is a fourth above. I'm playing a fifth above or a fourth below. Okay, so that was Song for the Wind. Thank you for listening. Let's get into our class session on inclusion strategies that work. And here we go. First, a few reminders. What are some things that are coming up? Well, you have a little mini project that's due for Thursday, April 9th at 12 p.m. and that's 5 lit and web resources and 1 video. Those should be placed as a part of your Google site, which is the Adaptive Music Project. Some of you have already done this. That's great. I want everybody to know that I am keeping track of these items. This is your attendance and participation for the course. So, and it's also in place to help build your project gradually. So make sure that you have those in before 12 p.m. on Thursday. And the project itself is due on Thursday, April 16th at 10 p.m. I made one adaptation to the reflection component, and that's that you are going to produce your video through Flipgrid. And so first what I would like to do is explain what is the reflection component. And so if we go to the project site, and then if you look here, there's the Adaptive Music Project PDF. That is the project description, and it looks like this. So it outlines all of the components of the project, and you'll see down at the lower right, reflection. And this is where you could prepare a short film in which you discuss key considerations, questions, preparations, processes, and any additional thoughts regarding your experience with the project. You might also choose to look into the future. What does this mean for me in the future of teaching music? And so you're going to complete that component in Flipgrid, and you will have, I've linked it already there in the project site in Canvas. And when you go, basically, it's really easy, and this is a nice way to contain all of our videos in one central location. You don't have to upload anything. You just go on here, click the little plus, and you create your video. I've already got a short greeting video for the reflection component. But that's how you're going to complete that. Let me know if you have any questions about that. All right, to continue. We will have a check-in for Tuesday, April 21st. That will be during class time that you'll take the check-in online. I'll be sure to provide you a reminder about that so everybody knows, yep, got to be online, got to take the quiz during class time, which would be between 8:30 and 10 a.m. Okay, on the article from Hamel, a few inclusion strategies that work. One of the key points is that there are supplements to the IEP, or the Individual Education Plan. And so some of those are in the form of summaries that can be beneficial and informational for the music teacher, but there are also behavior management plans. And you may have seen some of these in the past, but here are a couple examples of reflection sheets. The first asks the child, when there has been some kind of a behavior event, that they consider what was the inappropriate behavior, and they'll write a little bit about it. What were the consequences of their actions? And then the important part is the redirect, or what would be an appropriate behavior. And here's one other example, asking the student, what choice did you make today? Why did I make this choice? Next time I feel this way, what will I do? So what are some of the different options, again, for redirect there? And then what are some of the strategies that don't work? And I'm sorry that image got cut off there, but obviously one of the strategies that didn't work would be talking back to the teacher. So they can consider some of those kinds of things. Reflection is really important for those students with behavioral needs. Okay, some tips. Be engaging with the students and also special education faculty. Be welcoming with both sets of people. Make sure that when you have new students coming in with disabilities, that you greet them and you welcome them and explain to them, okay, this is what the music class is all about. And do the same thing with special education faculty. Work with them both in and outside of your classroom. Ask questions. Again, for not only for the faculty who specialize in these areas, but for the students. Ask them questions about, for example, how do they learn best, or what particular types of musical experiences do they prefer, instruments that they enjoy playing. Consider your physical setup in the classroom. I'll touch up on that a little bit more here in a moment. And then finally, avoid power struggles, celebrate successes. We learned a little bit back in the fall about the power struggle and how it's important to avoid that. And so whenever you do need a moment for that reflective piece or a redirect, you want to be able to address that at a later time, outside of the class and not in front of the other classmates. Okay, so some additional strategies. One would be to employ a visual schedule. You saw that I did this when we went out to Stowe Elementary, and it's important for children to know and understand this is a part of the routine that we establish in music class. And so an example of visual schedules you can see right here, but using kind of icons as a visual way to represent what would be the process and the experiences that we'll have in class. And then it's really important to inform students of any changes to the schedule or changes to the physical classroom arrangement. This is important for all students with disabilities, but we found it to be particularly important for students with autism. Routines are really of a great deal of importance, so if there's going to be a change, they want to be notified, and if at all possible, notify them in advance. Okay, a few additional strategies. Use hands-on activities. This is one of the reasons that music is so great for students with exceptionalities, is that they get to experience music in so many different kinds of active ways. Locate facilitative instruments. I hope that in your project creation, the Google site, many of you will link resources, whether they're text-based or articles, but also perhaps websites that produce facilitative instruments. You partner with students in developing their own accommodation plans. I said a moment ago about how it's important to ask questions with students. Well, we can actually work with these individuals and help or have them help to craft the accommodation plan. Implement brief assignments and assess more frequently. So rather than giving a long kind of cumulative assessment at the end of a class or at the end of a sequence of lessons, I would assess more frequently along the way. And then provide wait time for students to think before eliciting their responses to questions. I think Hamel said something like, give at least 5 seconds before you start taking answers. It's important for all students, really, to have an opportunity to think before they respond. Okay, so what's next? What do we do? Well, hopefully you'll have a great weekend, but I don't have a mini project for you. I want you to continue to work on your adaptive music project. It's due a week from this Thursday, so take time and be working on that progressively. That's what I have for this Thursday's class. Be safe, be well, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully soon. By the way, we do have a music education happy hour on Friday, April 10th at 5 p.m. I sent out a Zoom link to everybody. There is a password required. It's music ed, all lowercase, so MUSICED. Hope to see you at the happy hour. Take care. Bye-bye.